Hi, myself Avtar Saini. My student ID is BSI 8017 and I had presentation for Hc-1072 for economics and international trade. I had this topic of Australia has recorded job vaccines but did not expect it to lead to higher wages in November. This article on November 24 is in 2021, and I'm just going to introduce all the table of contents in this uh, about event, product, company description, demand and supplies, industry description and market structure analysis, externalities, findings, conclusion and recommendations. In starting off event, product and company description, the news article Australia has recorded job vaccine but did not expect to higher wages is published in the conversation of November 24 has clarified that there has been increase in job vaccines in Australia at a record level. The job vaccines rate is now more than 2.5%. Is due to pandemic caused by COVID-19. The employer find difficult to hire workers in the current situation. I have chosen to analyze this event because it's one of the major problem created by COVID-19 is principle of microeconomics can also be analyzed and applied in this event. And about the demand and supply force regulation, the labor market has been disturbed by the ongoing COVID-19. Hence, the effect of external effect in the free flowing economy can be analyzed through this article. And next, about demand and supply. In the case of determinants of demand of products and services, qualification of labor, technological advancement, number of employers in the market, rules, regulation and policies by the government. Because in the market the border was mostly closed and there was lots of shortages in demand and supplies. There was no much workers to work in their supplies because there is no much qualification is the matter too in this supply, because they just need like nursing sectors in COVID-19. And industry description and market structure analysis, the size of the market and the level of the competition. The labor market is really perfectly competitive. This is because the worker and employers have power to set and influence wages. Different imperfection in the labor market are monopoly, trade unions and poor information. And in market structures, at microeconomics level, individual firms interact with employees, hiring them, firing them and raising and cutting their wages and hours. The intersection between and demand and supply determines the wages. Labor cost, when the demand for labor increase, supply remaining constant, the wages labor cost increase. Similarly, when the supply of labor increase, demand remaining constant, the wages labor cost decreases. The demand and supply determine the wages and the number of hours to work in the labor workers. And in the case of industry description and market structure analysis, regulators of labor market in Australia. The Australian government ensures the protect of the rights to labor in Australia. The government has formed Australian Industrial Relations Commission (AIRC), which provides machinery for the prevention and settlement of industrial disputes and set out the minimum wages and in a different workplace relation act 1996. Industry group that help regulate the behavior. Besides the Australian government, its bodies, there may be trade union established by the employees and employers which act as a mediator to resolve dispute occurred between employer and employee. And now just talk about externalities, like which part is affected by the economics event. The COVID-19 has led to economic downfall in a rapid way. The industry has been shut down for a long time. Development activities are halted. Apart from the initial buyer, seller, the other parties affected by the COVID-19 are the ultimate consumers of the products, educational institutes, cinema halls, sports, etc. And impact of the parties, whether negative or positive. Ultimate consumer of the products increase in demand of labor force, work rises the wages of labor cost, which ultimately increase the price of final products. This is why the ultimate consumer have to pay a higher price for the same utility. Hence, increase in the labor cost affect the ultimate consumer of the products. And in educational institute are closed down over very long period, so there was been hindrance in normal teaching learning process. This affect the quality of education imparted to the students, and in for case of cinema hall also affected by COVID-19. Since they were closed, the demand of the employee has decreased, which has led to fall in wages rate per hour. Also, income generation for the employee has stopped, so there has been reduction in demand for the labor worker in COVID-19. And in the case same going in the case of sports, in the ultimate consumer of products. Finding, conclusion and recommendation. The news article: Australia has recorded job vaccine. The increase in vaccine rate is due to the pandemic caused by COVID-19. The employer find difficult to hire workers in the current situation. The major reason for increase in job vaccine is the closure of international border. Closure of international border has put limits on international migration, especially temporary migrants such as international students, working holiday visa, and student holiday maker have also contributed to labor shortages. The shortages has increased in so many wages, and due to worker during the lockdown again rehired their former workers. This has removed the need to offer higher wages to attract new staff. Hence, there has not been increase in the wages rate, even though the demand for the labor has increased and reached record level in Australia. But still, labor prices is the same. There is not increase in the wages. So in conclusion, there is in Australia right now there is so much demand for the laborers, because there is a lots of shortage in Australia. But still, there is no much wages increase in price or not ever. Thank you.